What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about a game that was shown at E3. So after Nintendo's E3 last week, of course the big thing that everybody was talking about was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but there were a handful of other things that were in Nintendo's E3 presentation along with the Nintendo Treehouse as well. Now one of these things was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, the two brand new Pokemon games for the Nintendo Switch that are going to be coming out later this year. So in one of the Nintendo Treehouse segments at E3, there was actually one that was solely dedicated to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where they even had Mr. Masuda come on and talk a little bit about the development of these games, what players can expect in the games, as well as some live gameplay for what the game is actually going to look like. And on top of that, people were even able to play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee if they were able to attend E3, as well as ask Nintendo representatives some questions that they had about the games. Now, I took a look at all the information that people were able to gather from asking Nintendo representatives, as well as all the gameplay that was shown off during the Nintendo Treehouse segment, and all of the comments that Mr. Masuda made about the development for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and I was able to find 35 new details about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now, there's some pretty cool things here that I want to share with you guys, so let's get started. Now when they said that the catching in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was going to be similar to Pokemon Go, they were definitely very serious, as even raspberries are going to appear in these games. And basically, if you don't know what a raspberry does in Pokemon Go, if you give a raspberry to a Pokemon, it's basically just going to become easier to catch, so it's pretty cool how you're going to be able to do that in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as well. Now just like with the recent Pokemon games in the 6th and 7th generation, your entire party is going to get experience points when you catch a brand new Pokemon, and Mr. Masuda even explained a little bit about how he wants many people to catch the same species of Pokemon, as he finds this an easy way to level up your Pokemon, so he really wants you to go out and catch like a bunch of Rattatas and a whole bunch of Pidgeys as well. So from the trailers about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, we're able to see that you're going to have to do a throwing motion with your Joy-Con whenever you want to catch a brand new Pokemon, but if you played Pokemon Go, then I'm sure a lot of you know that you can throw your Pokeball in some other ways as well, and Mr. Masuda did confirm that there's going to be a variety of ways that you can throw your Pokeball inside of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So you're going to be able to do like an underhand throw, you can throw your ball in a curved fashion or like diagonal as well, so there's going to be a lot of cool ways to catch your Pokemon. Now like in most Pokemon games, when you catch a wild Pokemon, there's a chance that they could have a held item, and similar to that in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, when you catch a brand new Pokemon, there's actually going to be an item that the Pokemon is going to give you as well, and most of the time it's just going to be a berry to help you catch more Pokemon, but it's pretty much always guaranteed that you're going to be getting an item when you catch a brand new Pokemon. Now like in Pokemon Yellow, when Pikachu would always follow you around, it's always going to be the case with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where your partner Pikachu and Eevee are always going to be either on your shoulder with Pikachu or on your head with Eevee, and they're always going to be there even if the Pokemon aren't in your party. Now because of how Mr. Masuda explained how catching is such an important aspect of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you're actually going to get Pokeballs along with prize money for defeating trainers, which is going to be really cool. Now in these games, you can actually see the wild Pokemon in the grass before you encounter them, and sometimes you're going to see a red aura around these Pokemon, and this means that the Pokemon is actually going to be slightly bigger than the normal size that you're able to encounter them. Similar to the last point, instead of seeing a red aura around some wild Pokemon, you might also see a blue aura around wild Pokemon, and this would mean that the Pokemon is slightly smaller than the normal size that you can find them. Now for catching these wild Pokemon that are bigger or smaller than their normal size, you're actually going to get an experience bonus for all your Pokemon, so that's going to be really cool if you find these Pokemon and want to level up really fast. A really cool feature about your partner Pikachu or Eevee is that they're going to be able to sense hidden items, and when they do sense these hidden items that you're not going to be able to see, they're going to start wagging their tails, and that's going to let you know that there's a hidden item nearby. So by now, I'm sure a lot of you know about the Poké Ball Plus accessory, which is going to be an additional optional accessory that you can get for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and that's going to allow you to be able to play the whole game with it, and you could also bring a Pokemon from the games, and that Pokemon will get experience when you're walking around. But what's really cool is that this accessory could also be used as a Pokemon Go Plus, which is an accessory that allows you to be able to see hidden Pokemon and Pokemon without opening the Pokemon Go app. Now while it doesn't show it on screen, it looks like that natures are going to be within Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and so if you're a competitive player, then I'm sure a lot of you know about natures. Basically, depending on what nature a Pokemon is, there's going to be one stat in particular that's going to be increased and one stat that's going to be decreased. So from the gameplay demo that was shown at E3, we can actually see that there's one screenshot where it shows the stat screen for Pikachu, and we can see that one of its stats is highlighted in red, which is the attack stat, and one of the other stats is highlighted in blue, which is the defense stat. So this would mean that the attack is increased and the defense is decreased, and that would mean that this Pikachu, for example, would be a lonely nature. So while it doesn't state that it's a lonely nature, it looks like that for the hardcore players, natures are still going to be implemented into these games. So did you notice how whenever you want to catch a wild Pokemon, you have to press the get ready button and then throw the Pokeball with the Joy-Con? Mr. Masuda explained how the developers at Game Freak made the get ready button so that it resets all of the gyro controls on your Joy-Con and then you're able to throw the Pokeball. This is so that you don't have to keep your Joy-Con up at all times, so that whenever you want to throw the Pokeball you can put your Joy-Con down. Now this could be upsetting for some people, but Mr. Masuda did confirm that you're going to be required to use motion controls whenever you're playing the game in TV mode, and this is because they really want you to have an entire new experience of catching Pokemon. Mr. Masuda also did confirm that there's going to be some additional side events in these games that were not present in the original Pokemon Yellow, and I think the one example that they showed off in the E3 demo was in Pewter City. There's going to be a lady that asks you to watch her Slowpoke, and once you watch it for her, she's going to come back and give you a big pearl. Now, I already talked about how raspberries are going to be inside of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but you're also going to be able to find pineapple berries as well. Now, I don't really play Pokemon Go, so I don't remember what the pineapple berry does. I think it gave you more candy for the Pokemon that you were capturing, so like it gave you more Bulbasaur candy or more Charmander candy, and obviously that's not going to be the case in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, as you're not going to be using the candies to like evolve your Pokemon or anything like that, because there's still levels and all of that from a traditional Pokemon game. So in these games, you're actually going to be getting an increased amount of items that are dropped from once you catch that Pokemon, and I think it might also give you an experience bonus as well. Now, I already talked about how motion controls are required when you're playing through the game in TV mode, but what about when you're playing in handheld mode? So Mr. Masuda confirmed that in handheld mode, you're still going to be using the gyro in the Nintendo Switch, but there's going to be a reticle or target that's going to appear on the screen, and you're going to use the Nintendo Switch's gyro controls to aim where you want that target to be, and then press a button to shoot the Pokeball in that location. So something new in terms of movesets is that both Pikachu and Eevee are going to be able to learn Double Kick at level 9, and that's definitely going to be very useful when you're facing the first gym against Brock, who's going to be using Rock-type Pokemon. Now when talking about the Poké Ball Plus, Mr. Masuda confirmed that the Poké Ball Plus is going to have much stronger gyro and rumble than a typical Joy-Con, and so you're going to be able to feel much stronger vibrations within the Poké Ball Plus. Now, after being able to view the stat screen for your partner Pokemon in the gameplay demo, it is confirmed that your partner Pokemon are going to have significantly increased stats than a typical normal Eevee or Pikachu. So this makes sense for these Pokemon, as obviously you're not going to be able to evolve them, so it makes sense how you're still going to be able to have them as stronger Pokemon. Something that's pretty useful is that you can nickname your Pokemon right from the menu when you're viewing the Pokemon that are in your party. So because of how these games are based off of Pokemon Yellow and not remakes of Pokemon Yellow, you're not going to be playing as Red, and Blue's not going to be your rival, but you're going to have a new rival who's going to be named Trace. Mr. Masuda also did confirm that in order to keep these games different from Pokemon Yellow, there are going to be some new characters and changes in the story that are going to shape up these games, which are going to give you a reason to purchase them even if you've already played Pokemon Yellow. So something that I thought was pretty bad when I was looking at this gameplay demo was that when you're entering Brock's gym, there's a person who asks you to bring a water Pokemon or a grass Pokemon in order to challenge the gym. Now I thought that this was pretty bad because it made it seem like I had to bring a type advantage for every gym in the game, but after reading it more carefully, it talks about how trainers who are challenging a gym for the first time need to be aware of type matchups, and so it looks like only for the first gym you have to know how type matchups work, and that's why they're asking you to bring a water or grass Pokemon. Mr. Masuda also did mention that a lot of the developers at Game Freak made sure to implement a lot with the HD Rumble inside of the Joy-Con, and so you're going to be feeling a lot of cool things in the Joy-Con with the HD Rumble when you're playing through these games. So there's actually a light that's on the Poké Ball Plus, and Mr. Masuda talked about how this is going to be a different color depending on what Pokemon you put inside here. So if you put in like a Pikachu for example, it'll be a yellow light for an electric type, and if you put in a Charmander, it'll be like an orange color for a fire type, so that's going to be pretty cool to see as well. So during the gameplay demo, it was confirmed that Link and online trades and battles are both going to be inside of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and they showed a little clip about what it's going to look like, and basically you're going to have to enter the same code as your friend so that you can enter and join in the same room. So like you could tell your friend here the password's Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and they have to type it in that way as well, and then you guys can get matched up. So that's a pretty cool way to be able to interact with each other. Now Mr. Masuda talked about how there isn't going to be a safari zone in this game, but rather there's going to be a new place called the Pokemon Go Park, and this is where you're going to be able to catch the Pokemon that you've transferred from Pokemon Go. So in this park you can walk around and see all the Pokemon that you've transferred from Pokemon Go, and then you're going to be able to catch these Pokemon and add them to your party, but it's also cool because it's not like you can just transfer a Mewtwo right away from your game and then have a Mewtwo so that you can beat through the story right away. You're actually going to have to wait a little bit in the mid game till you can get to the city here and then be able to access all these Pokemon. So something that's pretty interesting is that when you catch a Pokemon from Pokemon Go that you've transferred into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, all of the information and data is actually going to be scrubbed for the Pokemon and actually rewritten with some new information as well. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know why they decided to do this. Maybe I think like the IVs and everything like that could be rearranged and you could get some new IVs and stats for your Pokemon. But Mr. Masuda also did say that if you have a strong CP inside of Pokemon Go, then the Pokemon is going to have a stronger level or CP inside of Pokemon Let's Go as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to find out exactly how this works. Now similar to how there's candy in Pokemon Go, there's going to be candy in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as well, but you're going to be able to use the candy to increase the stats of your Pokemon and basically do some Eevee training. As you can see right here that there's some different candies here and they're each going to increase some of the stats for your Pokemon, so this is going to be really cool if you want to increase like the attack or defense for certain Pokemon. So I already talked about how there's going to be raspberries and pinap berries inside of these games, but it looks like you're also going to be able to find nanab berries, and I'm not really sure how they work, but it is confirmed that they are going to be in the game, as you can tell right here from an in-game screenshot that it is mentioned within the text from the game. Now after looking it up, it looks like in Pokemon Go, nanab berries are going to be able to make Pokemon move slower, and that's going to make it easier to catch, so it looks like it's probably going to do the same thing here as well, as we've seen in the gameplay that Pokemon are going to be jumping around and moving around, so if you use a nanab berry, that's probably going to make them jump a little bit slower, and that's going to be able to make it easier for you to catch them. So something that's really cool about these games is that the encounter table has been completely redone, and so you can't just go on Cerebi and like look up Pokemon Yellow and like Viridian Forest and see what Pokemon you can find inside of the original games and then expect to find the same exact Pokemon in these games. They've completely redone what Pokemon appear in certain parts of the game, and so like in Viridian Forest for example, you can find a Beedrill and a Butterfree and even a Bulbasaur, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see what types of new Pokemon you can find in different areas of the game, and it's also going to be a lot of fun because you're going to be able to make some really cool teams. Now when someone asked if held items and abilities are going to be inside of these games, a spokesperson from Nintendo said that Game Freak doesn't want to announce everything at this time and to just stay tuned for some more information. So this doesn't really confirm if held items and abilities are going to be in these games, but because of how these games are really targeted towards the casual audience, I personally don't think that they're going to be in them, which is a shame because I really would have loved to see how strong Pikachu would have been with the boosted stats and given a light ball. So it has been confirmed that there are going to be version exclusives inside of these games, but we don't know exactly how they work. It could be the same as Pokemon Red and Blue, where you get Oddish in one game and Bellsprout in the other, and Growlithe in one game and Vulpix in the other, or there could be some new version exclusives as well. And finally, the last bit of information about these games is that there's going to be 2 special bundles that you can get, where it's going to come with the game and the Poké Ball Plus, so it's going to be really cool for those of you guys who are interested in getting that. And so there you go guys, those are 35 new details on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about this. Are you excited for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? What do you guys think about all this information? Be sure to let me know all of your thoughts down below. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at @ActualAero. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.